Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Ecoffee with Experts. I'm your host, Matt Fraser. And on today's show, I have with me Viola Hutchinson. Now, Viola is the founder and president of Effortless Marketing, a full-service digital marketing and web development agency located in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. She spent 13 plus years helping business owners and entrepreneurs to grow their businesses using the latest web design, social media, and SEO strategies to succeed online and become profitable. She was born and raised in Transylvania, Romania, and moved to Norway when she was just 20 years old to eventually make her home in southern Alberta, Canada. Viola, thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So on this episode, we're going to be talking about how to get more traffic, leads, and sales from your Google business profile based on your experience. How did you, just out of curiosity, just to give our audience a background, how did you get involved in starting a marketing agency?
Oh, gee. I didn't know what I want to be when I grow up. And I was a systems analyst prior to opening this agency. So I was a systems analyst at Shell, the headquarters here in Calgary. And I like systems. So, and kind of understand them, I guess. And I just was in a stage in my life when I wanted to do more and be more in charge of my own life. And I quit Shell. Some people call me crazy because it was a very good job, actually, from the point of view of money and vacations and perks and all that. But it was so boring. Sorry, Shell, but it was boring. And so I started, first, for the first few months, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was helping my husband with his own business, and I didn't really like that too much. So somebody asked me, a friend of mine, to create a website for him, because a little part of my job at Shell was to maintain the intranet of our department. So I was trained in HTML, and at that time, the CSS, software, stuff like that. So,
all those things.
But I never even considered it, like it was a small part of my job. And he knew that. And he says, I never built a website from start to finish. I just maintained it, and it changes. But I figured it out, and he owned a commercial cleaning company.
Oh, yeah.
And he was really happy, and I enjoyed the process. And then I just started asking people if they wanted a website, even for free or really cheap. And that's how it started.
Oh, right on. Yeah. That's awesome. So
just one more point to that, if you don't mind, because that wouldn't have, I don't think that would have sustained me just building websites. That's a constant struggle to get new clients all the time. So what I found out, because I guess my systems background, I was looking, how come the websites that I build are nowhere to be found? And that's, I never heard of search engine optimization before then. This was in 2008, 2009, something like that. And because I wasn't in that, I guess, sphere. But that's how I found out that there's such a thing as a search engine optimization. And that's how you have a website that, you don't just create it, but you do certain things, and then they're going to show up in the first page, or second page.
Absolutely.
So that's what I started to do. And it was a win-win situation for myself, because it allowed a continuity for my business with the clients, and for the clients, because they got better rankings. So I just wanted to interject that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And they get better rankings, and they get better, more traffic and leads as a result of those better rankings. So when it comes to getting more traffic and leads from using a tool that many businesses use, small businesses, especially service-based businesses and such, getting more traffic and leads to their Google business profile. What are some of your top tips for that?
Well, first of all, I deal with a lot of small businesses, small to medium, like a couple of medium ones too. And Google Business Profile is a free listing, as we all know, from Google. But a lot of businesses don't even know or don't fully realize what it is. Yeah. And if they do, they maybe verify the business, which is very important. So number one, verify, claim that listing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they don't do anything else. And we do, we optimize. So optimize, number two is optimize your listing, which means fill out everything that you can. Mm-hmm. But for example, when you fill out the information on the Google Business Profile, you can use keywords. So the whole internet is driven by search words, keywords, really. Yeah. And what if we use them and use them properly, not overdoing it, but just normally, then the search engines will understand what that business is about, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what number two is optimize the Google business listing. And probably number three is be consistently active on that listing. So we can talk about that.
Yeah. What are some ways to do that you found in your experience?
The best way is to consistently post. And that's another thing that business owners don't know that you can do.
Yeah. So what are some of what are some of your strategies or process for coming up with ideas of different things to post? If you can share an example maybe of one particular industry without revealing the client's name, or
sure,
for instance, a dentist or a plumber or a specific, because that's a hard thing, I think, for business owners. They don't know what to post.
Yeah, I know. It's a stumbling block for sure. But so it's easy to post. First of all, there are different types of posts that you can create on Google Business Profile. And one of them is if you have an offer. So that's one type of post. And most businesses do have offers. We just finished with one client who's in a wellness business. They have a wellness center, and they had an offer for the whole month of July. So that way you can in the post you can start. You have a start date and end date. You can put a coupon code on there, and it shows the whole time. So offers are a good way to use the post. But what we use most often is the what's new. So something new in your business. And this could be, kind of stretched. It doesn't have to be always some earth-shattering news because we don't have that every day, obviously.
Yeah.
But you can use blog posts, so some kind of topic that you talked about, even if it was a year ago, but you never mentioned it before, and link to that blog post. And in my opinion, all blog posts should have some kind of call to action at the end. So there you go.
Oh, absolutely.
So and always add an image because we're so visual. Add an image to that post and just a couple of lines, just like a teaser, and then link it to your blog post. Or you can link it to a web page that you have, a service that you offer. So it doesn't have to be necessarily, in my mind, something like, we have a new service or we have a new product. Definitely those are good ones, but you don't have a new product every month. So, yeah.
So, but you could create content, blog posts, and work with a content creator to come up with a content calendar to create content to then be able to publish and share those things on your Google Business Profile in that regard. And, I think HubSpot came out with a study at one time that showed the more businesses, whether it's B2B or B2C blog, the more content they produce, the direct correlation to money. And I think,
absolutely.
And I don't think a lot of businesses realize that. Like even the dealership that I was working at, I was talking to you about my story of success there. And it was so hard to convince the business owner, my direct boss, to invest in content marketing. He'd easily drop $5,000 on the newspaper, but
so crazy
for 3 days, $5,000 on the newspaper for 3 days, not even bad an eye. yet wouldn't even think to give me $1,000 for, do you know how many, you and I both know how much content I could create with $5,000? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. And the return on investment of that, but because he didn't understand it.
And it's so long term, so it's sticky, what we call.
Absolutely.
Because it brings you leads for a long time.
Oh God. And I had no shortage of ideas of what content to create, but he was very, I don't know, I just had to maneuver around what I needed to do and sort of take my time and be patient and educate him all the time. But in some ways it was very frustrating. But anyway, I don't want to go there and talk about that. I had a success there. I'm not there anymore, and it's probably for the best. But I'm talking about content. Like, there's so much content you can create, and coming up with ideas for content and to create and post on a Google business profile. It's and it's interesting that a lot of business owners, I mean, Google has changed the iteration of, we've gone from Google Places to Google My Business to Google Business Profile.
I know.
It's like, oh my God, you guys, can't you just get it straight? Like, seriously, man.
I know.
Just come up with a name and just stick with it. I mean, why did they have to go from Google My Business to Google Business Profile? Or, I get why they changed it from Google Places, but like, there's nothing wrong with Google Places. Like, I don't understand the logic behind some of the things Google does, but nevertheless, they are Google. So, what would you say the main things are to optimize for their Google Business Profile to get higher? Like, what have you seen work for local search rankings? The main things they should focus on.
What I found that makes a difference is if a business has a keyword in their business name.
Oh yeah.
It really helps. So
it really helps.
We tested this, and Google specifically says that you should use your legal business name.
Yes, they do.
But but you could sometimes try it. I'm not saying. Okay, I didn't say try it, but experiment if you like.
Experiment.
Yes, with adding something. So, for example, we if you just say that you're a consultant, I mean, what kind of consultant are you?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Are you a food consultant? Are you a automotive?
Understand that Google little bots that crawl anything on the internet are not humans. So they're not going to understand, just consultant, or even if you have pictures, especially if they're not optimized, they're not going to understand any of it. And but humans do. So we had, that's one example, where it says consultant and somebody's name, like let's say Joe, I don't know.
Joe Smith.
John Smith, consultancy. Well, that doesn't mean anything. So if you put in, no, it doesn't mean anything. But if you put business consultant or something like that, then it starts to make sense. Or whatever kind
or small business consultant, or restaurant growth consultant, or very specific.
But if you just say John Smith consultant, doesn't mean anything. But that's your legal name. You can go and change your legal name. It doesn't cost that much.
No, it doesn't.
Or you can try. Not just for a name change, and have that keyword in your business.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Have a keyword in the main business name.
Yeah.
And we tested this, and it does make a difference.
Yeah. And change the name of your business if you have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Such an ambiguous name. Like there's some businesses that have such an ambiguous name. It's like, not only is it going to help you in online, but it's going to help you in your business overall for people to identify across all marketing channels.
Because even if you're old-fashioned and you have business cards, and if I go to a networking meeting, I meet a lot of people, and I see John Smith consultant, I don't know what does he do?
Yeah.
Right?
And what does he do?
But if it says the small business consultant or something, more specific, then I know,
exactly.
Maybe I should get in contact with that person.
Yeah. Or you might think of someone who who could use their services,
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
like I said, John Smith Consulting, it could be total small business consulting or small business consulting experts or ninjas or whatever you want to think of.
Yes.
Are there any other factors?
One is the other factor that I think it's very important, and we played with this too, is choosing the right category.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, sometimes it's hard because you might not find the exact category, but it has to be one that makes sense and is closest to what you do.
Okay.
But having the right category.
Okay. What about for businesses that have multiple categories? For instance, a renovation company that does kitchen renovations, bathroom renovations, basement renovations. They even do home inspections. And home inspections is a completely different niche. And they may do roofing. Should they start? What are your thoughts on that? Like, there's you can only choose a certain amount of categories, right? As B, did you then start up a separate business?
I wouldn't. I would just think about what's your most profitable channel there, and go with that as a primary category, and then choose the other one. You still have the option. The secondary categories, you have option to choose quite a few. So
that makes sense because your most profitable things, and then maybe
that's what you want to drive.
Yeah, drive those things first, and maybe the other things you can focus on organic search or other paid ads or other such ways to reach clients that way. Just thinking here for a minute. So what about in regards to what are some of the ways to drive traffic to those sites? I know obviously people are searching for things in Google, but are there other ways to drive traffic to the Google business profile or increase traffic?
Yes, there are. Like with anything else, really, if you have a link back to that profile, and if you're on social media, for example, like when you post, there is a little share icon under the post. And you can share that post on your social media, on not all of it, but for sure you can share it on Twitter and Facebook and I can't remember what else, but so share it. It's really easy to share the that post, let's say on Twitter, and then people from Twitter might click on that post. They see your Google My Business Google Business Profile post. So
So do you think business owners should drive traffic to their Google Business Profile instead of certain businesses should drive traffic to the Google Business Profile versus driving it to their website?
I always say that a business's main digital property is the website.
Okay.
That's the one that you control the most. Okay. And anything else, social media, anything else, you are at the mercy of that company. I mean, absolutely. Yeah. So digital, the website is your main digital property. Having said that, for local business, you should really focus more on Google Business Profile than any other social media, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In my
opinion, local
business.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
That doesn't
I
mean
agree with you.
Yeah. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have a social media presence. Yeah. But I know horror stories where somebody just did Facebook. Well, they did something that Facebook didn't like, shut them down. They lost everything.
Oh, wow. That's the thing people don't realize.
Yeah. So for a local business, especially one that has a physical location, Google Business Profile is the best way to drive foot traffic and to also to get online, online traffic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What about tracking the traffic from Google My Business and the leads? What are your thoughts on the best ways to go about doing that?
Well, they have Google Business Profile has a built-in analytics section. It's called Insights.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can take a look at that. And then you can also within that, you can see the keywords that people are typing in, the search words to find your business.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's surprising on what they type in. But if, then you can build out your content more to either increase a search word or that's related to a service that you have. That is maybe that you're not being found, or to increase even more the search words, the traffic to certain search words that you already rank for, but you want to be the top.
Yeah. What about using paid ads for like Google local service ads or other such sponsored, local ads for getting more traffic? What is your experience?
I think it's good. We have a few clients and we do ads for them too.
Okay.
So our main product, so to speak, our main service is SEO, search engine optimization, but we also do Google ads. And and I find that the combination of doing ads and search engine optimization is the ideal one really for a business.
It is, isn't it? Absolutely.
But it's expensive, but expensive is a relative term. It's expensive not to do it either, because
there's a loss of opportunity, a loss of leads, letting somebody else get that traffic and get those customers.
But when first presented, the client might be like, "Oh my God, that's a lot of money." But then, if you explain and if you're open to listen, then they realize that, but also I will be getting a lot of business. So,
I find that they need to know and calculate what their cost what their lifetime value of their customer is. And I find a lot of business owners don't know that, which is unfortunate, because how can you know how much money you're going to spend on marketing if you don't know what your lifetime value of your customer is on average, how much money you make per customer, how long they stay with you, and so on and so forth. And even then, going back to the car dealership, they didn't know that information, and they'd been in business for 10 years under one brand and, for over 20 years. So they had all the data, you could easily look and see, well, how long has this customer been with me? How many cars have their kids bought from me? And how many referrals have they given me? And then you can figure out, holy smokes, this customer is worth $50,000. Why would I not spend $500 to acquire a customer when you're going to make 50 grand? And it's interesting is they only think about the one transaction.
The immediate, that's it. I know.
And that's it. And it's ridiculous because you and I both know, even if you break even on that. So let's just say you sold a car to someone, you broke even, but you're going to make money. You're going to make $50,000. I mean, even if you lose money, if you can make it up on the back end through service or through referrals or through whatever the case may be. I mean, you talked about how you got started in your business. You worked basically for nothing in order to get about the referrals and then grew a business. And I know that you can't work for free forever, but when you take it from that mindset of what is the total amount of money that I make from a customer, and this goes back to having a CRM, and it's interesting. I was in BNI, and a lot of business owners didn't have a CRM. And I'm just like, how could you not be using a CRM? Like that is mind-boggling to me. So when it comes to calculating, advertising, absolutely, you said it is relative expensive, but I like what you said there, that it's expensive sometimes not to do it, because Acme competitor is going to be getting that traffic. And when I was doing what I was doing, one of my colleagues who was at a competing dealership in the same brand was like, I don't know how Matt's doing it. He's everywhere all the time. And that was the whole point, to be everywhere all the time so that we were the only choice. And we didn't start doing that until we figured out what we actually figured that information out to figure out how much we could spend per clients to acquire them, and on a per job basis, per job, or for us, it was a per car basis. But for a plumber, it could be and then, but plumber doesn't always have the highest. I mean, commercial plumbing, residential plumbing, I know is not. I've talked to plumbers. It's not the most profitable part of their business. It's more, commercial and so on and so forth. But, there's other things you can do. It's kind of interesting how plumbing and HVAC go hand in hand, because HVAC is the moneymaker. So yeah, interesting. Very interesting. So what's the best way to create a strong link between your Google business profile and your website for a small business owner?
A strong link, meaning that people know about, or the search engines realize that you're working on?
The latter.
Well, the strongest link would be using so when you create a post, so use those posts. You at least once a week small business should be posting on their Google business profile. And the call to actions, there are buttons that you can use there. And one of them is call, so you can call the business. So once in a while you use that call to action, but also make sure that you use learn more. That button goes to your website. So it could be to your service page or to your blog post. And that way they're always connected, and they know, each entity knows about the other, right?
What about using UTM links and parameters in those posts? Is that possible so that you can track the traffic came from?
Yes, I think, yes, it's a good idea. But I have not used it yet. In all honesty, but I know the UTMs and the tags that you use in Google to show up where the traffic comes from, for sure. That's a good one.
Yeah. Shout out to UTM.io. It's an amazing tool if people haven't heard of it. UTM.io. It's Dan McGaw. He's
I guess I need help with that. So there you go.
Well, I can talk about it after. I've done quite a bit of learning on that aspect of marketing. But any other means that you've seen success with tracking, like call tracking numbers for
definitely. So we have a software that we deal with, CallFire. So
CallFire,
CallFire. So we use CallFire to identify where the calls come from, so that's a good one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's CallFire, and then there's CallRail. And
there's so many of them.
There's so many now, is there? I like What Converts. I don't know if you've heard of What Converts or not, but
no, I haven't. No.
Yeah, What Converts is a really, really good platform. You might want to check it out. So what's one big takeaway you want listeners to get from this episode?
Please be active on Google Business Profile.
Yeah.
Because that's where people don't even realize that they're on it. So that's the 3-pack that shows up on your phone, and people use mobile phones. It shows up really well on the mobile.
Yeah.
And you can get traffic that you didn't know you could have. Yeah. But you have to be active on it and consistent. That's to me, that's the mantra of marketing: be active and consistent.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, how can our listeners, Viola, connect with you online? They want to.
The easiest way is to just go on my website, which is effortless.marketing. So there's no .com, no .ca. It confuses some people, but it's just effortless.marketing. And if you can, hit the contact page or my profile page, and we can go from there. And I offer a 30-minute free consultation.
Oh, cool.
So that's on the contact page too.
All right.
And I'd be happy to talk to you. And I'm really easy and not a pushy person. So
right on. And are you on LinkedIn as well?
LinkedIn, yes. I might be under my previous name there, Viola Ola, and not Viola Hutchinson. I should check on that. It's been a long process changing my name. So my previous name, and I still have lots of, I guess, profiles as Viola Ola, O-L-A-H, online.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll make sure to find out which one it is and put it in the YouTube description and show notes. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here. It's been really cool talking to you.
Thank you, Matt.
Right on. You have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.